Alright students, welcome to the next lesson of our number patterns unit. In today's lesson we're looking at chapter 8b, Arithmetic Sequences. In the previous lesson we looked at chapter 8a, where we had an introduction to our unit and also into what a number pattern is. So if you haven't done that already, please make sure you've watched that video and you complete the exercises assigned to you. The exercises given will be on Teams via the assignment function, and you won't find these questions in your textbook. They're only in the assignment that we give to you. Okay, so go ahead and do those questions. So chapter 8b, we're looking at arithmetic sequences. Okay, this is the keyword there that we're going to be focusing on, arithmetic sequences. We know what a sequence is. So last lesson we learned about sequences being a set of numbers, okay, or a list of numbers that are generated either using a pattern or randomly. Today we're going to be generating arithmetic sequences. Alright, so our intention is to understand the concept or the idea of what a arithmetic sequence is. Okay, and hopefully by the end of the lesson you'll be able to identify what is an arithmetic sequence and also calculate and apply what the common difference is and use it to create your arithmetic sequences. Alright, so some definitions that you need to know. An arithmetic sequence, okay, I've been throwing this term a lot just now. Okay, it's basically a list of numbers where the next term, okay, so the next term, so again, a sequence is a list of numbers, but in this case the rule is the next term is generated by adding or subtracting, okay, the current term by the same number. Okay, so basically what that's saying is you're adding, to get the next number, you have to add or subtract by the same amount, whatever it is. Okay, so for example, in this sequence here, I can see that the first number is 5, then we've got the second term to be 12, then 19, 26, 33. So the sequence here is it's adding by 7. Alright, and it's arithmetic because it's adding by the same amount each time. Okay, so it's adding 7. It has to be adding or subtracting by the same amount. The next term, our next sequence here, you've got 87 for term 1, then 84, 81, 78, 75. So you can see that it's 87, then it went down to 84, 83, 78, 75. So that means this sequence, okay, it's going down by 3. Okay, it's subtracting by 3. Remember, for it to be an arithmetic sequence, it has to add or subtract by the same amount, okay, or the same number. All right. So the other term we're going to look into is the common difference. Now the common difference is the number that is being added or subtracted to get the next term. Okay, so basically we have a name for the number that you're either adding or subtracting. Okay, it's called the common difference. Okay, so I'll highlight a few keywords here. It's the number that is added or subtracted. Okay, it's that number, that same number, to get the next term. Okay, and it's only for arithmetic sequences. When you're adding and subtracting, it's for arithmetic sequences only. So in this example here, I've got the number 2, then the 7, then 12, then 17, then 22, which means we're adding up by 5. So the common difference is plus 5, or positive 5. In this sequence here, I've got term 1 to be 9, 5, then 1, negative 3, then negative 7, and we're minusing by 4. So the common difference is minus 4. Alright, so common difference is the amount that you're either adding or subtracting to get the next term. So how do we calculate the common difference? Now you can probably look at it and say, look sir, I can see just adding by the same amount. True, that is correct, but in year 11, we do need to show working out on how we do this. So we're going to prepare you for that. So to calculate your common difference, so the common difference is represented by the letter D. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Arithmetic sequences, common difference. Okay, where those two are related. We can calculate them in a sequence we choose any term and subtract the previous term. So that's how we calculate it. So to calculate the common difference, it's any term minus the previous term. Right, so that's the formula that we use to calculate your common difference. So for example here, let's calculate the common difference in this sequence. All right, so remember the rule is, for common difference, always start off with D, any term minus the previous term. Okay, so that's the rule for finding your common difference. So let's go with any, I'm going to pick any of these terms. I'm going to do them a couple times. So I might go T4, take away T3. Okay, so remember it's any term minus the term before that. So the term number 4, the term 4, so for the fourth term, the term before that would be term number 3. So in this case, T4 is 14, take away, T4 is 18, my bad, and then T3 is 14. Therefore, the common difference is 4. Okay, now we're going to do this again because generally what you have to do is you have to test and make sure that it's going to be 4 each time. You can't just say after doing it once that the common difference is 4, because sometimes you'll get a sequence where here it might add by 4, and then after that it might add by 3, then by 1. It does happen, okay, and they do that to trip you up. So make sure that you check. So to check it, we're going to do another term, and then we're going to test it. So we might go term 3, take away term 2. Okay, to test it. So term 3 was 14, take away 10. Therefore, the common difference is 4. So see how it's the same, 4 and 4. It's getting more and more likely that this is definitely a arithmetic sequence with the same common difference. Let's try one more. Let's go term 5, take away term 4. So in this case, it would be 22 minus 18. So the common difference should be 4. So it looks like in this case, the common difference is definitely 4. Now you don't have to do this multiple times all the time, but sometimes you might. Okay, so just please watch out for it. Generally, once should be enough, but sometimes a question will be thrown at you. Okay, so you have to look at all the sequences, all the terms, just to double check that it's the same common difference. Alright, let's try this one. Find the common difference for the number of blocks in each pattern. Alright, so what I like to do here is name the terms. So that's term 1, term 2, term 3. Or you could actually call it, if you want, P1, P2, P3. Because we're using the word pattern now instead of term. So the letters don't really make a difference. It's just depending on the name of the question. Okay, but remember the rule for this, finding the common difference. So remember, common difference D is any term minus the previous. Okay, so we'll use that. And I might go P2, take away P1. And I forgot to note here the number of blocks in each term. So P1 has 5 blocks, P2 has 9 blocks, and P3 would have 13 blocks. Okay, so in this case, I can see that P2 is 9 and P1 is 5. Therefore, the common difference is 4. I can test that again if I wanted to. I could do P3, take away P2. And in this case, it would be 13, take away 9, which is also 4. So the common difference is 4. So that means to get the next blocks or next pattern, you have to add 4. How many blocks will be needed to produce a sixth pattern? Okay, well, to get the sixth pattern, we know that P1 is 5, P2 is 9, P3 is 13, and we need to figure out what is P6, which is the sixth term. Actually, let me lay this out a bit differently, because what's going to happen is you need to show your full working out on how to get the next few terms. Okay, so this is how I would lay it out. I know that it can get a bit tedious, but again, this is what we are expecting of you guys when you need to show the working out to get the next term or the next pattern. All right, so we need to work out how do we get to P3 to P6, okay, the sixth pattern. Well, let's work out P4. P4, to get the next term, this is how we'd work it out. Okay, it would be P3 plus whatever the common difference was. Okay, now this is a little bit new and unfamiliar at the moment, but just watch out for how we do it and watch me do it so that you can understand how it works. So P4 would therefore be P3, which is 13, plus the common difference, which is 4. Therefore, P4 is equal to 17. Notice how what's happened is I've just added 4 to this P3. Okay, and that gave me 17. So that means P5 should be P4 plus the common difference. Therefore, P5 is equal to P4, which was 17. So I got 17 from here, plus the common difference of 4. So P5 should be 21. Okay, and notice how what's happening is I'm just adding 4 each time using this working out here. Okay, so P6 should be P5 plus the common difference. So P6 should be 21 plus 4. Therefore, P6 should be 25. Therefore, on the sixth pattern, you need 25 blocks. Alright, next one. Find out which sequence below is arithmetic. Give the common difference for the sequence that is arithmetic. Alright, so we have to figure out which ones of these are arithmetic. Remember, the rule for finding the common difference is D equals any term minus the previous term. Okay, so it's always a good idea when you do these questions that you name or label your terms. So you know what you're working with, alright? Alright, so the first one here, let's do the common difference for it. I might go with, I might test it twice. So let's go with T5, take away T4. So this case would be -5, take away -3. Alright, in this case, the two negatives cancel out and this becomes a plus. Okay, so -5 plus 3 is -2. Okay, so that's that. Let's test another one. Let's go T2, take away T1. Okay, T2 is 1, T1 is 3, minus 3, and the common difference here is -2. So I'm willing to vouch that that's probably a arithmetic sequence. Okay, so that's definitely arithmetic. So you would state here arithmetic sequence. Okay, next one. Let's try this. Okay, so again, label the terms. Alright, so you got T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, and T6. Alright, so for this sequence, let's again use the common difference formula. Let's use another color. So D equals, let's go T6 minus T5. So that would be 8 take away 5, which gives you a common difference of 3. Okay, let's try T3 take away T2. Okay, so that'd be 2 minus 1. So the difference is 1. Okay, now you can see here already the common differences are the same. So that means it's not arithmetic. Okay, not an arithmetic sequence. This one here, again, label the terms. Okay, it really helps to label the terms for these. So T1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so first one, let's go T3, sorry, D equals T3, take away T2. So let's go 1.4, take away 1.2. This equals 0.2. Okay, let's try another one. We'll go T4, take away T3. So that would be 1.6 take away 1.4, so 0.2. Okay, so that should be an arithmetic sequence. Okay, last one. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to name the term again. Always a good idea to label your terms. T4, T5. Okay, so let's try T4, take away T3. In this case, it would be 16 minus 8, which gives you 8. Cool. All right, that's fine. Let's try another one. Let's go T3, take away T2. Remember, you can use any term minus the previous term, yes? So T3 is 8, take away 4. The difference here is 4. So because the common difference is not the same, it's not arithmetic. All right, hope that's made sense. All right, I've got a couple more and we're done. So find the common difference and the seventh term here. All right, so finding the common difference and the seventh term. So we're going to find the common difference first. Remember the rule, any term minus the previous. So I might just go with T5, take away T4, and that would equal 16, take away 14.5, which equals 1.5. Might test it just once more. We'll go T2, take away T1. T2 is 11.5 minus T1, which is 10. So the common difference is 1.5. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, and I believe that the common difference here would be 1.5. Now, how do we get the seventh term? So this will be similar to what I did earlier, where I list out what the terms are. So I know that T5 is 16, okay? So how do you get T6? Well, T6 would therefore be, so to show the working out for T6, it would be T5 plus 1.5, right? The common difference. So in here, I would show it as T6 equals T5 plus whatever the common difference is. So T6 is equal to 16, which is what T5 was, plus common difference of 1.5. So T6 should be 17.5. T7 therefore should be T6 plus the common difference. So T7 is 17.5 plus the common difference of 1.5. Therefore, T7 is 19. Cool. So that's how we show the working out to get the next term. Okay, you have to use the common difference that's given to you and basically what you're adding to get the next term, which is what the common difference is. All right, so I encourage you guys to, actually no, you need to do this worksheet because it'll show you how to use the calculator to get to the next term. Okay, but let's move on to the last example. All right, so for this arithmetic sequence, write down the next term, show the term positions and values in the first 4 terms in the table, use the table to plot a graph, and then describe the graph. All right, so let's do part 1. Write down the next term. So we know that T1 is going to be 3, T2 is 7, T3 is 11, but what is T4? Okay, so let's work out T4. First of all, let's figure out the common difference for this question. So we can do T2, take away T1, and the common difference there would be 7 minus 3, which equals 4. And I could test it again if I wanted to. T3, take away T2, would be 11 minus 7, which means the common difference is 4. So all works out. That means to get the next term, T4, it's going to be T3 plus the common difference. So therefore be 11 plus 4. So the term number 4, or the fourth term, is 15. Alright, part 2, let's put these in a graph. In a table. So in terms of putting these in a table, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so we need to put the first 4 terms, which are 3, 4, into a table. Okay, these guys. So what you'd put here is a table of values, or you could call that an X and Y table. Okay. Now, in terms of what you put here you would put the letter N, and here is Tn. This is because N refers to the term number, Tn refers to the term value. Okay, so we were only wanting term number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll list out the values for those terms. So T1 was 3, T2 was 7, T3 was 11, T4 was 15. Alright, part 3. We need to now plot this. Okay, plot this in a graph. So for this, in terms of what a graph is going to be, you need to draw a X and Y graph. Like this. So one that's got an X-axis and a Y-axis. In terms of the values, use what you've got here. Okay, so this is kind of similar to this table, X and Y. Okay, so on your X-axis, you're going to have the N values, and on the Y-axis, you're going to have the Tn values. So on my X-axis, which is the N, I've just got 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And on my Y-axis, I've got 3 to 15. So let's put those in. Well, actually, I wouldn't go 3, 7, 11, 15. I would use some more consistent values. So I might go up by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Okay, let's go with that. Now we plot them. So the first one is 1, 3. So that would be here. Alright, you see term number 1 is 3. So term number 1, 3. Term number 2, 7. Right there. Term number 3, 11. Term number 4, 15. Oh, sorry, that's not in the right spot. 15 up here. Okay. Part 3 is describe the graph. Okay, so now we're going to describe this graph. Okay, so in terms of describing this graph, because it is arithmetic, generally what you will have to state is it's a linear, or you say graph is linear, going in a positive direction. Okay, positive because it's going upwards. And if it's negative, it'll be going downwards. But in this case, we're going upwards like that. Okay, that's basically how we do those questions. All right, so guys, go ahead and do your exercises for chapter 8b. The questions are in the assignment that you've been assigned. And also, please do this worksheet to understand how to generate a sequence on your calculator. Thank you.